everyone. This is 850 Club, the Credit Blueprint. Let's get right into it. Capital One is no longer accepting credit card applications. Okay. Now, for right now, they're no longer accepting applications for these particular two credit cards. Okay. It's right now, it's only for these two credit cards for now. As we know, major changes are happening right now within the credit card world. Some of it could be due to credit card debt, things of that sort. And we actually have one of our members that mentioned that as well too, that their credit limits have been decreased. But we'll get into that in a minute. But the application for one of these cards is technically still active right now as we speak. But if you do get approved for that credit card, you will not get the credit card. You will get the hard inquiry as well, but you will not get the credit card. Okay. So let me go ahead and share with you guys what that is and what that looks like. The very first card is the Capital One Savor card. Okay. This one is to stop accepting applications. Okay. Now they also have this card actually has a couple of spin-off cards, but this one in particular is the Capital One, as you guys can see right there on your screen. Let me move that over just a little bit. The Capital One Savor Cash Rewards credit card will no longer be on the issuer's menu of available credit cards for new applicants. Okay, this is beginning July 16. The credit card will stop accepting applications according to Capital One. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because if you guys haven't noticed, if you go to the Capital One website, that credit card well, it was still there yesterday as of last night, and some people were saying that they were still able to apply, but you will not get the credit card. Okay, so you will see a follow-up email that you will not get that credit card. I don't know why it's still up on the site if it is, but Capital One says we're always listening to customers and evaluating our products for the right offerings, said a Capital One spokesperson in an email. Based on this, we've made the decision to remove the Savor as a card offering. Okay, we'll get to the second card in 1 second, but the reason why so many people they gotten this card is the card will continue to maintain. It had its $95 annual fee. So if you already had the card, you still have to pay the $95 annual fee. They're just not taking any new applications on this particular card. So the short version is if you have it, still use it as normal. You don't lose anything, but but new people won't be able to apply for it. 4% cash back on dining, eligible streaming services and entertainment, 3% cash back on grocery stores, 5% cash back on hotels, rentals, booked through Capital One Travel, and 1% cash back on all other purchases. So those of you who were able to get that, of course, congratulations to you. Okay. Now, also, too, there's another piece to this is that even though it's no longer available, just simply says still keep using it as normal. Okay. So I just want to make sure that, okay, no longer accept applications. Okay, good. Want to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. So that's card number one. All right. The next card is the Capital One Walmart card. Now, we know that they no longer have the agreement between each other. Okay. But a lot of people, we're talking millions of people, had this credit card. This is one of the biggest credit card closures in credit card history. Okay. Walmart's big, Capital One's big. It's an easy situation. Okay. Here's the thing. Now they had to stop applications. They were allowing some people to still get the Walmart card. They were just going to transition. Now they've changed it to now everyone that has a Walmart card will be moving over automatically to the Quicksilver card. Okay. So again, you're going to be moved automatically if you already have the card. But as we know, they did this just recently. Okay. Capital One shut down applications for the Capital One Walmart Rewards MasterCard, as well as a closed loop for the Walmart's Rewards card. Okay. And then, of course, we all know that they ended the partnership in May 2024, but people were still able to apply for the card. Well, not anymore. Okay. Capital One website that is, it will be sending eligible, keyword is eligible, customers, okay, to their new Capital One Quicksilver MasterCard on a rolling basis. So not all customers will receive their card at the same time. Okay. And keep in mind, you got to be eligible. What that means, we'll find out. Okay. A Capital One spokesperson confirmed that Quicksilver cards will be sent out beginning in September of this year and throughout early 2025. Okay. Walmart cardholders can continue to use their Walmart credit cards until further notice. Once customers receive their new Quicksilver cards in the mail, Capital One recommends that they activate the new card and destroy the old one. Okay. The issuer says customers will retain any rewards that they've earned with the Walmart card. Points will transfer to the Quicksilver cards at the value of 1 cent per point. Okay. And they said, of course, they'll still let you guys keep the annual fee, all the rest of that stuff. So if you guys want to find out more about this stuff, I'm gonna start putting also too, guys. Sometimes we get stuff inside the comments, and sometimes people say, hey, where is this article? Or if they want to read deeper into it, or some people say I'm lying. I'm like about certain things, like, dude, I'm reading it from here, you know. So if I'm lying, they are lying, okay? But either way, whether you guys want things to happen or not, these things are going to happen. But I also think this is part of, but for those who don't know, I'll do a video next week on this. The Capital One and Discover card merger is still looking pretty good. Just so we're clear, I know it's a lot of stuff going on in the news world, and this stuff gets pushed to the bottom of everything because it's not, world changing information. But just so you guys know, that merger is still looking pretty smooth. It's still on pace. Okay, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. And because they're paying off a lot of old lawsuits and things of that sort, both of them are making major product changes as well. So keep an eye, keep that in mind, I should say, and I'll keep you guys posted in general. But let me know your thoughts on this as well. Let's go ahead and pull up where we are so far, so you guys can get caught up to where I am. Give me 1 second. Let me switch this over real quick. And I want to get you guys' thoughts on this in general. Okay. So as we talked about, Capital One's no longer accepting applications, and that is the breaking news. By the way, we get people that ask all the time, can we help you with your credit? We most definitely can. We can create a custom game plan for you. This is where we can help you increase your credit score, qualify for home ownership, and of course, lower your monthly car payment, just like we've helped these people that you're looking at right there in front of you. Okay, just scan that QR code to learn more. If you haven't done so already, make sure you guys go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments. Is this a big deal? Okay, is this a big deal? All right. So I most definitely want to get your thoughts on this. Give me 1 second, guys. We're going to get everything updated on this side. Put your comments down in the comment section below. Okay. And we'll go ahead and pull this up here so we can get this updated here. Okay. Let me save that. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got. Pamela says, wow. Yes. Crazy, right? Yeah. So you got that for sure. Grounded says, oh, wow. Good morning to you guys as well. Blind says, I'm looking forward to seeing how the merger is going to look after it closes. Absolutely. I want to see what products they keep and what products they end up getting rid of as well. I also have another thing I want to mention as well, too. We have a client that he mentioned, and let me know in the comments if you guys well, of course, if you guys are going through the same thing. Let me know inside the comments as well if you guys are seeing this. Credit card companies are starting to reduce limits. Okay, they're reducing credit card limits. This client had a rate. He had a credit card limit reduction of in October, and it happened again just in June. Okay, now he said these were Citibank cards. He has a Citibank personal credit card and a Citibank business credit card. They lowered the limit on both of the cards. He uses the cards, throughout the years, both personal and business. So that's not a reason why they should close it. They said it was due to his other credit cards. Can you guys believe that? So again, now I've seen this before, but typically it's usually if a person's like late back to back, or usually with retail credit cards if you're not using them. But are you guys seeing that they're reducing the limits on people's credit cards right now? And which, by the way, that's, I think I need to turn that into just a full video. We need to talk. I need to research this a little bit more, but let me know you guys' thoughts on this. Are you all seeing this with like credit card, just random credit card limit reductions happening? So far, this is one story happened out of Citibank. I know this client very well, and they're at, and they got a little bit of credit card debt, nothing crazy, nothing more than what I've been kind of seeing from a lot of people, but not outrageous. Like it's not over 10 grand, So to me, that's I won't say it's outrageous, but I kind of feel like when you get into that point, if I was a company, then I'll say, okay, let me pull it back a little bit. But are you all seeing this on your end with any personal credit cards or business credit cards, just random limit reductions, which, by the way, again, if you're losing your credit card limit, that's going to increase your utilization, which is going to do what to your credit score, guys? it's going to lower that credit score. So in hindsight, they're lowering your credit score just by playing around with your credit card limit. So keep those things in mind. Okay. Then it says interesting, interesting. All right. So now let's go back into it. My bad. It's a lot of comments. My bad. I'm out of order. I'm out of order. All right. So then it says, "Wow, what a crazy morning." Who you telling? I don't know. Let me know. Have you guys were you guys affected by the internet? I think it was a Windows outage. I just happen to have a Mac computer. I just happen to have a Mac. But anyway, I don't know if you guys were affected by that outage. All right. So Sunlight says, "I'm not a fan of Capital One. I have the Walmart card, and it has been great with the 5 and CB. Never gave me a credit line increase." And of course, I can't be pre-qualified for other cars, but I'm bucketed with them. Absolutely, absolutely, right. So I think a lot of people were going through that just by having the card, in general, for sure. Anyone else feel like they were bucketed by Capital One? For those who don't know, Capital One takes you as you are, and then whatever you are at that time, that's typically how they keep you. So I don't see that with everybody, but I do see that with most people. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. Anita says, "I'm concerned about the merger with Discover." Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that, Anita. Let me know why it bothers you for sure, or concerned about it. Just in general. Let me know your thoughts on that as well. No right or wrong. Just let me know your thoughts on that. Steven says, "Does Credit One does Credit One got the juice?" Oh man, listen, Credit One, they still charging fees for stuff. You know what? Credit One is actually not a bad credit card if it didn't charge so many fees. Like if it didn't charge, like it's the authorized user fee, a credit limit fee, you got the annual fee. I mean, there's a fee for everything. So if they didn't charge so many fees, it actually wouldn't be a bad card. All right. Then it says, "I'm concerned as well. I have both cards." Caleb says, "Good morning. Do you mean every Capital One card?" No. So only applications, only credit card applications on those cards that I mentioned. Okay. So that's the Savor one. I'm sorry, the Savor Cash Rewards. Okay. Because Savor does have some other cards. So I didn't want to put Savor in the title because Savor has multiple cards. So I didn't want people to think, I was like, okay, so it's just and it's multiple applications because it's multiple cards. So again, and a lot of people were confused about the whole Walmart situation because they were still able to apply. But now you guys see they're going to just be moved over to the Quicksilver. Okay. Uncle Bam Bam, what's going on, sir? How are you? I think I missed one. Blonde says, "I'm looking forward to see." Oh no, okay, we didn't miss that. Okay, cool. Wanted to make sure. All right. And then Blonde says, "I've been looking to repair my credit, but collection accounts keep popping up and I don't know what to do. I'm kind of hesitant on making any kind of payment to collection accounts that keep popping up." You know what? Yeah, let's talk about that. So, you know what? So here's what I'll recommend. We do have a credit community, and I do go live every week. And now the community is asking me to go live twice a week. So we're gonna see if we can squeeze that in, or at least some weeks where we go live twice a week. But either way, that's a great question because we need to ask. I need to know a little bit more of a deeper situation. The reason why the community is so great is because in this credit community, you guys have direct access to my DM. So it's just like sending me a direct text message, okay? Letting me know your situation. You also get a discount on a custom game plan or a personal one-on-one call, 45-minute call with me, and it's a recorded Zoom, so you get a discount on that as well. But if you just want to just shoot me a DM, you can do that inside of my credit community. So to learn more about that, you guys can go ahead and just scan that QR code right there on your screen. Oh, let me switch these out. So right there on your screen, you can go ahead and do that, and you can learn more about our credit community. All right. So let me know if you guys are interested in getting more information on that. Okay. But the short version is, yeah, I got to be able to look at the report to kind of give you an idea or at least find out more about the situation. But it's nothing wrong. I mean, keep in mind too, even if you don't want to do anything with your collections, you can build around your collections, guys. So keep in mind, a lot of credit improvement is not really disputing. A lot of credit improving is just improving the credit score. We have clients that have a lot of negative items on their credit report that are still in the 700s. You could buy a house with negative items on your credit report. You can get a high limit credit card with negative items on your credit report. You can still get a car, with negative items on your credit report. So again, but you got to build around it the right way. This is if you guys have tried disputing, the things didn't come off because disputes does not guarantee credit score improvement. As we know, disputes also don't guarantee removals. And keep in mind, guys, as items get closer to 7 years, it has a lower value anyway. So what really matters the most is what have you done recently with your credit report, and you may not know, and that's where those questions come into play. Okay. All right. So Sunlight says PNC lowered my limit from 10,000. Wow. Are you guys reading this? So from 10,000 down to $1,000. Okay, guys. So I'm telling you, this is something that's slowly starting to happen behind the scenes. Everything we talk about won't always be in the news because, people have to talk about that, and so the only way people would know that limits are being lowered, I don't know how many companies are coming out saying, hey, we're lowering limits, but let's keep an eye on this because this may be something I need to dig deeper into, and we may turn this into an entire video. But let me know if you guys have had that happen as well. Then it says, interesting. Caleb says Synchrony Bank does without notification. So Synchrony Bank seems like that's what Caleb says, has lowered some limits without notifications. Okay. Sunlight says from 10,000 down to 1,600, then down to 600. I closed the card. Bank of America increased mine and Citi did too. Wow. That's crazy. And that's random, especially from 10,000 down to $600. That's insane. All right. So Grinder says, so my car was broken into, but I still been making payments. Oh, wow. Let us know more about that for sure. Anita says, I have both cards with Capital One Visa 5K, Quicksilver 2,500, and Discover 10K. Will the lower my credit cards? Credit's good, not excellent. I think you'll be fine. Yeah, I think you'll be fine, especially right now. I think with him, well, with one, Citibank actually is a pretty good credit card company. I don't know why that happened. It could be recent activity. It could be bringing the balances up to close to the limits. But a lot of credit card companies don't like that either. I mean, even though they make more money off the interest, but in times like right now, people are being late on payments or not paying at all. So, but I think you'll be fine, Anita, for sure. Donnie says, what if I cancel my Capital One accounts, wait 90 days, and then reapply? Will I be able to escape the bucketing? Very good question. You know what? We got to look deeper into the bucketing. I got to bring my guy Cal back in for that one. This guy's the king of knowing about the bucketing with Capital One, man. I got to bring Cal back into that one to see if there's a way around it or if he's seen people. This guy studies it to the T. So I got to, okay, he brings the data points. He brings the research. So we most definitely got to bring him back so I can see if there's a way around that. Will I be able to escape the bucketing? We'll find out. Not worried about the credit age or usage since you taught me never to carry balances. That's right, sir. Absolutely. If you can, and I don't want you guys to feel like, obviously if you do have to carry a balance, it is what it is. But if you want to see your highest score potential, that's usually utilization, payment history. People usually got that on point. Even if you missed a couple payments in the world, it's not the end of the world. But biggest thing is going to be utilization. As long as you guys are on top of that, you'll most definitely be fine. But Donnie, we'll most definitely get you an update on that. I'll bring Cal into that conversation. But from what I understand, from what he explained to me, there is no way out of the bucketing, which is why they call it the bucketing system, as far as I know. But I will say this, though, too. Even though there is this whole bucketing process, I'm going to be honest. I've seen people, let's be honest. Everybody that starts off with Capital One usually has a $300, $500 credit limit. Capital One still gives credit limit increases, so I think the bucketing is more so where you start, but you can, for some people, try to get those credit limit increases. That's where people have issues, is trying to get that credit line increase. But again, I haven't seen that with everybody. I've seen people, especially in the early days, and I'm not talking about like too long ago, people would start off with a $300, $500 limit with Capital One, and they'll turn around and get another Capital One card, like a Quicksilver or a Venture, and then get like $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000. I've even seen some clients get like $8,000 on these cards. So again, I think it's a little bit different. I think it's bucketing to a certain point, almost like a Chase 524 rule. So I think it's bucketing to a certain point, and then after a certain point, maybe they're more chill. But I never really sat down and said, okay, this person was with them for X amount of months. They use their credit card like this. Their score is this. Their income is this. They've been on their job this long, and here's their limit. That's where my guy Cal comes in. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as well, because he most definitely dives deep into the research. Anita says, my Credit One has a 23% interest rate. They nickel and dime you, though. $19 for a 300. Yeah, they charge you for everything, man. And you guys notice, if you haven't noticed, they'll charge you a small amount for I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. They'll charge you for a small credit limit increase. They'll do stuff like $150, $300. Just give me $500. Just give me $1,000. If I'm gonna pay for something, give me $1,000. Okay. But they charge for every single thing for real, Anita, for sure. All right. Grinding says, so my car was broken into. Yep, we talked about that. And but the insurance company said it's a total loss and I will lose all that good payment history. Let's talk about that. So payment history stays on your credit report for 7 years, guys. Now, if the car is a total loss, and glad that you're okay too, Grinding. We appreciate, listen, thanks for sharing that story as well. We're glad that you're okay. That's good to know. Um, as far as the car is concerned, the payment history does stop. Okay. Because the car doesn't exist. And hopefully you got gap so it'll be, covered on that end too. But saying that to say that yes, you will not get any new payments, but all of your old payments still stay on the credit report for 7 years. But just like anything else, good or bad, I want you guys to understand this. Good history or bad history stays on the credit report for 7 years. And then as it gets closer to that, okay, it has a lower value. Like for example, if you get a late payment today, that may be, you may lose 30, 40 points on your credit report, right? On your credit score in general. However, that late payment 5 years from now does not have that same 30-point value. So when it falls off or expires, essentially, your score won't just go up what it lost. Does that make sense? So it loses value over time. Okay. All right. So next would be maybe says, so that's why the Capital One rep was acting funny and refused my product change to that specific Savor One card. I thought it was because of me being bucketed with them for 5 years. Nope. Yeah. See, this is why I bring you all this information, because like I mentioned, a lot of this stuff will never make like the major news, but it affects people. People have these cards with these companies. They have accounts with these companies. We bank at these banks. And this is stuff that we need to know. So it's like the media chooses what but at the end of the day, they can talk about whatever they want to talk about, right? I guess we just rely on them for so much, but that's where I come in. All right. Thanks for letting us know that as well, too. Because again, look, a product change and they say, listen, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. All right. Wasn't the Savor One a metal credit card? I think that was their only metal card. I think so, too. And this was the cash rewards, too. And I think this was the first Savor One to come out as well. Okay. So, but it wasn't, let's pull that back. Gypsy says my Savor wasn't metal. Yeah. Okay. So that's good to know. All right. That's good to know. And it's crazy. I just got recommended for a free Savor card upgrade from my Quicksilver 2 weeks ago. Now, keep in mind too, guys, they still are doing the Savor, but it's the Savor One cash rewards in particular. So I don't think it's the entire Savor lineup. So if you go to their website, you'll see that they still have the Savor, options available. And of course, it's, there's 2 Savor options available. Let me go ahead. You know what? Let me pull this up actually. Okay. So as of right now, it seems to be just the Savor cash rewards that is no longer an option. Okay. It's no longer an option. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share my screen with you guys as well too. So you guys can see this. Where is it at? And I'll do, yeah, this was it. I was checking this morning. I'm sorry, last night. And that's when I realized, okay, so it's the cash rewards. So, but I think, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's the cash rewards, but it could be also the Savor One rewards in general. But it's if you go back to it, let me go back. Because yeah, that's the other one. The Savor One rewards for students, they're going to keep that one. And of course, the Savor One rewards for they saw it with good credit, but it's the same thing as the other one as well, too. Okay. But this was the cash rewards specifically. Okay. Specifically the cash rewards only. All right. So Blonde says, do you think it's a good idea to focus on the terms of rebuilding the credit for the payment history and to get to a point when it's a 100 payment history? I mean, eventually, but I mean, technically, if you have one late payment and it's been anywhere between 4 to 7 years, most credit reports only go back about 4 years. But the history that actually is enrolled, that the algorithm uses to make the actual score, that goes back 7 years. But I wouldn't spend too much time on it. I mean, to get 100%, especially if you had a late payment in the past. So technically, you wouldn't be 100%. But at the end of the day, I would say at minimum put it on auto pay. That way you can increase your chances of it. Even if we're not 100%, can we at least be in the 90s%? And this is only assuming if we had a late payment in the past. All right, Gypsy says folks need to be building business credit instead of putting all this credit on their personal credit report. Absolutely. This is where business credit comes in at. I was talking to one of our clients inside the community, one of our community members, and they was just talking about how they use credit cards just to kind of keep things afloat. And I'm like, listen, you are technically using this like a business credit card. If you're always using your personal credit card and it's for the same stuff and it's not like household items or you need it to like run a business, then I mean, technically you're doing it as a business, you may as well just go and build business credit. That way it's not fluctuating your score so much. So a great take on that as well, Gypsy, as well. Sledge is in the house. I think that they stopped issuing the Savor card because no one was getting that $95 annual fee card when they can have a Savor one with no annual fee. See? What's going on, Sledge? Appreciate your input as well, brother. So again, now mind you, this is someone who has tons of credit cards. Okay, this guy has over 35 credit cards active. Okay, but like he said, again, no one was going to pay that $95 annual fee because you can just get the Savor one without it. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Again, even though they got rid of it, some people most definitely, are distraught about it. But saying that to say, there are the other options that's out there as well. What's going on, CEO First? Steven says very good information. Gypsy says good history stays much longer than 7 years in some instances. Yeah, so here's the thing. So good history, it just won't be on the report. And here's the thing, guys. You can have a 20-year-old credit card, flawless payment history in those 20 years. But I'm telling you, it's not going to be a part of that algorithm. Now, don't get me wrong. It will play a role. The average age will play a role because that is on there. But that credit history, 20 years of credit history won't fit on the credit report. They'll show you 7, but what really is in that algorithm is at least 4 to 7 years of payment history for sure. I'm telling you, because I've seen credit cards that's got age on them, guys, 30, 40 years, and it is not on that credit report. Okay. And listen, if they have a late payment, it's going to affect them just like it affects anybody else. Now, don't get me wrong. If they obviously have a card that's that old, they obviously got some other accounts that's old as well, too. So keep that in mind as well. All right. Sunlight says Capital One doesn't like me. I only have the Walmart Capital One card because I had the original Walmart Synchrony card and it transferred over to Capital One. Yeah. Capital One be a certain way for sure. Piper says, I just got the Savor One 10 days ago. Right. That's a Savor One, but not the Savor One cash rewards. And see, they have multiple different types of cards. So make sure you guys have which one we're talking about, okay? The Savor one is still available. It's a Savor that you cannot apply for, okay? All right. And then with Cap One, no pre-approval since the first attempt since 2019. Oh, wow, that's crazy. It will be interesting to see if I can get the Quicksilver card from my Walmart card. You most definitely will. They will be moving everybody over, they said, by September of this year all the way to the beginning of the next year, okay? Pod Piper says, I must gotten in under the wire because I received the cash rewards. You could have been. Oh, by the way, this was, so you know what, Sledge? He is correct. Because they just stopped applications on the 16th. So yes, if you did apply before the 16th, then you're most definitely going to get that card. Yeah. Okay. But I get what he's saying. That's Gypsy. Listen, Credit and Cash says, listen, there's videos of metal Savor cards on YouTube. Savor One rewards for excellent credit is metal. The Savor One for good credit is plastic. All right, all right, perfect. Thanks for letting us know that as well. Because I thought I saw that too. Utilization counts for more, in my experience, than 100% payment history for sure. Utilization will keep you around 600 to 620, even with 100% payment history. Better believe it, because that utilization is something else. Can't use all of it, guys. All right. Maybe's in the house says, hey, Sledge. Donnie says, you are right. My issue is my highest Capital One limit is 4,500, but the other banks like Navy Fed gave me 25K and Chase gave me 19K. So why beg Capital One for a few hundred when they do approve an increase, right? Absolutely. And great job on that too, Donnie. Listen, Donnie's been rocking with us for years, okay? We helped Donnie with his credit long time ago. Now look at him, out here shining. 25K with Navy Fed, 19K with Chase as well too. So he's most definitely come a long way. Appreciate you still watching the channel, brother. All right. So perfect. Sled says Capital One usually gives good starting limits on their top cards, such as Adventure X and Spark Business for excellent credit. Absolutely. Listen, we got to get Sledge back on here, man, because this guy is the king of credit cards, knowing this stuff front and back. So I knew he was going to jump on this one for sure. All right. How long does bankruptcy stay on your credit report? Chapter 7 stays on there for 10 years because they wipe everything away. They don't wipe everything away, but they at least zero the debt out, I should say. So Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years. Chapter 13 stays on there for 7 years. All right. So Gypsy says, thank you, Mr. Credit. All right. Perfect. Caleb says Capital One hasn't even increased both of my life. Wow. Listen, sometimes, Capital One looks for certain things. So just keep that, in mind as well. And sometimes they just don't do it, so, but that's why we have to have, different relationships with different banks. So we got to have different relationship with different banks. Don't forget, guys, Capital One does have some great products, but don't forget, at least 70 to 80% of their market share or their product base, their client base is subprime. So again, 70 to 80% of their clientele has credit scores under 620, and that's not just recently. So they're not really too focused like, super high limit credit cards and things of that sort. Again, most of their money is going to be on that subprime market. Juan says, hey, Calvin, just got approved by Capital One for Savor card. Let's see here with a credit line of $2,000. That's what's up. Okay, that's what's up. And again, if you did the Savor Cash Rewards, this just started July 16th. Okay, this just started July 16th. Okay, Sled says, Calvin, always dropping gems. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it for sure, for sure. All right. Well, either way, guys, listen, we're going to catch you guys on the next video. Appreciate everyone being here today. And of course, keep the comments coming as well, too. Sledge is always in the comments, answering questions when he can. But make sure you guys go ahead and check out his YouTube channel as well, too. Sledge, I would bring you on. Sledge, let me tell you something. I would bring you on this live right now, but I don't have the time because I know we could take this to an hour and a half. But that's the only reason why I'm not bringing you on. I actually about to go. I got to go prep for a trip. But either way, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys on the next video. Dennis, appreciate you being here. All right, as well. And Sunlight says, same for me. Navy Federal 23K, Bank of America 30K. Man, hey! And see, it's always Capital One, man. It's always Capital One for sure. All right. Listen, y'all ain't gonna stop in these comments. Y'all not gonna stop. But anyway, y'all have a good day.